Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Luke Bell here, and we're ready to check in on the wild world of wokeness once again. You guys ready?
Why are y'all voting for Kamala Harris?
I don't want to lose my rights. Like, I'm a trans man and I'm gay and I have been pregnant and I've had an abortion before and I don't want to lose that. I'm afraid of not being able to be myself anymore.
Oh, right off the bat, I'm all kinds of confused after hearing all of those things in the same sentence.
Because from what I've heard, Trump's America doesn't want me to look like this, so.
Mom doesn't want you to look like this. And here is her friend who seems to think that Donald Trump is going to make piercings and tattoos illegal.
Like, I'm very,
Alternative,
and I feel like if Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to, like, express myself through my looks and everything, and wouldn't be able to have the piercings or the dyed hair or the tattoos that I want, I would be...
Honestly, I was so distracted by the insanity that the first person was spewing that I didn't even notice how crazy the second one looked. Holy hell. This video, there's a lot to unpack here. The more I watch it, the wilder it gets.
Able to be myself, and my dad's very pro-Trump, and I'm just very
pro-Kamala.
pro-Kamala. Yeah, I don't,
That poor dad. Yep, low information voters with paranoid delusions seem to be overrepresented at these Kamala rallies.
Yeah, the thing about that is only one party has said that the Bill of Rights is just a suggestion and that it should be looked at. That party is not the Republican Party. Trump's not the one out here talking about maybe taking another look at the Bill of Rights.
Imagine being trans and trying to go get your medication.
I can't imagine.
And I literally walk up there, the lady on the phone is like, oh, can I have your last name? And so I give it to her. She's like, oh, okay, I'll meet you out there and I'll give you your prescription, right?
I mean, I already just can't stand the way that this individual is talking. Male, female, I don't even know, but it's just like the whiny tone here that I'm hearing already just like nails on a chalkboard to my ears.
So I'm waiting and she comes out and then she says, oh, is this for? And then she says my dead name. No! And I'm like, my name is Rylan.
Sir, I've made a terrible mistake.
And she just looks at me.
Rylan!
And then she puts the medication on the table and shuts the door and locks it behind her.
This conversation is over.
Oh my God. That honestly could have been parody and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. That is scary. I mean, that's scary. It's a good thing she's got medication though, because clearly he or she needs it.
Watch liberal sellout Joy Reid try to defend inappropriate books being allowed in schools.
By the way, when did Joy Reid get Trump hair?
What is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member.
Oh,
so you have
what?
Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? That's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
No, we're talking about public school.
One moment.
Oh, geez. What could you possibly have to say after all of that? I'm at a loss for words. Quite honestly. Like, I don't even have any, I'm just, I'm speechless. What the fuck is a book like that doing in school? These are like those books that they have, that graphic images that are way too graphic for children. Like, they're basically putting into school libraries. What is this world coming to? All right, continuing.
Now you've asked me questions.
Sure.
I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
Well, who is the main character? What's the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue?
You're asking me right now.
You just gave me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the gentleman.
Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You just remembered very specific names.
Joy.
What does the author's name have to do with anything?
I'm going to answer.
Great. I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you, and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation.
Okay, great.
So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert. Dildos aren't appropriate for.
All right, all the way off with that shit. I mean, you think you hate journalists enough, you don't. They are the lowest of the low. in today's society. You got like journalists at the bottom. It's insane.
If I like wanted to become black, could I do that?
I mean, no, because race is a set thing. Like, race isn't a construct, but gender is.
What I see is like they're both things you're born with.
Well, I don't think that you're born with your gender. I think gender is what society sets on people.
So I could be like, you look like a boy?
Shoot, if you want to say that, you can.
Another wokey woman doesn't see the irony of her arguments regarding gender. It's a simple parallel.
Which would you prefer in America, socialism or capitalism?
Unfortunate about her soul, though, by the way. Having the red hair and all.
Probably socialism.
Socialism. Be a mix of both. I think the people at the top need to pay their fair share, but I also think that if you want to start a company and become a billionaire, there shouldn't be any regulations in the government to stop you from doing that.
People at the top helping people at the bottom bring us to like a greater level of equality.
So on campus, if there's some students, you know, at the bottom GPA-wise, would you give them
can
some
measure
of your
the
own GPA
testosterone in
points
that
to make
guy
it more
with
equal?
a...
No.
What's the difference between
micrometer
working hard and earning a high GPA and not wanting to give it away, and then working hard and earning a high income and not wanting to give it away?
I feel like the highest bracket of income earners in America are not
I got lost in that
all
question.
the people that work the hardest. Oftentimes the poorest members of our society are the ones that work the hardest because they're the ones that are working like 40-hour weeks in like intense manual labor jobs, whereas like the richest members of society are the ones that are like have the capital to invest in stocks and aren't really contributing to our society, but are
that kid has never worked a day in his life.
These walkie students choose socialism until they suffer an inconvenience. Unbelievable.
Are you voting for Trump?
Yep.
Socialism and like communism should be looked at in the same light as Nazism. I mean, it's that bad. It killed as many people. I mean, communist Russia, back in the USSR days, they threw women and children in the gulags. They were basically doing the same thing to their own people that the Nazis were doing to the Jews. So I don't know why communism gets off as like being this shining beacon of, you know, idyllic society, but it shouldn't. It absolutely should not.
White supremacist.
How? How can you say that?
How can I say if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a white supremacist?
How?
How? Because you support that man in office.
That's not an argument. I'm gonna need proof that makes me a white supremacist. You're gonna have to break down the argument.
That's not my job to say that.
You just accused me of being a white supremacist. You should be able to back that up.
Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I sure am.
That's my proof.
Are you voting for Joe Biden?
Yes, I am.
Then you're... No. Yes, you are. You like to sniff kids.
She feels so strongly about her argument. When it's turned around, she can't accept it. Hypocrisy.
Okay, Roman says this. Roman says that women... You need to repent.
That's like the meme. She just starts screaming out of nowhere. That's what they do. There's no argument to be had, so just make my freaking ears bleed. Thing about Trump being a white supremacist and all that stems from the whole Charlottesville hoax, where people are like, hey, he said there was very fine people on both sides, except for the fact that he specifically said, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists, because they should be condemned totally. I can't believe that hoax is even still a thing today.
I'm not into touching, okay? I'm not, let me put that out front. I'm no touching, no touching.
No touching, I won't touch you. I was paired up with Isaac. He was like, no touching. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
The music will start, the boys will turn around. So,
Right.
gentlemen, let's turn. Gorgeous. And then we start walking.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
What is
7,
this?
8. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then maybe let's look at the gentlemen. Gentlemen, you guys can acknowledge us. Ooh, who is this? Cool.
Oh, I'm
yes.
sorry. I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm a man of God. I can't do this.
Oh, based.
Yeah, I love those people. I pray for them. I would never do anything to hurt them or condemn them. But men are not supposed to dress like women. I'm not going to go along with that. It's time to stand up and be a man of God.
Dude, I want to go to his church. If he was the preacher, I'd be at church every Sunday. Godspeed, dude. That was a baller move, being like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna participate.
Want to redo that?
My TikTok.
Yeah, do you want to redo your TikTok?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, why didn't you just come ask to flip me off?
She sounds nervous as shit.
Hey guys, you can go to patreon.com/CaitlinBennett to support my work. Do you want to flip me off now or later?
Now.
Awesome. You're so brave.
You're so pretty.
Well, thank you.
I'm
You're
sorry.
pretty.
I don't like
you. Have natural beauty. See, the thing is, if I took my makeup off, I wouldn't be beautiful. But you are naturally beautiful, so you got this.
Really? I think you should take.
That took such a weird turn right off the bat. She was flipping her off. Caitlyn went to confront her about it, and then they're complimenting each other on how beautiful each one is. I did not see that coming, I'm gonna admit. Of all the things that I thought was gonna happen at the start of that video, that was like last on the list.
Your makeup off, you would be beautiful.
I look like a little boy.
I think you would still be beautiful.
Well, I appreciate that. How do you go from flipping me off 1 second to being so sweet and nice the next?
Oh, well, I think like inside of you is like nasty and hateful, but like I feel like outside of you is beautiful. Well, like you're transphobic, you're pro-life, you're
being pro-life is nasty and hateful?
Yeah, I think it is.
How?
Well,
how
I feel
backwards?
like it's like taking away like a woman's right to like her own bodily autonomy. So like I feel like that's a little hateful.
Is it hateful to stand up for people in the
all she could do there was spew the talking points. Like that didn't actually have a coherent argument, so it was just, oh, I think it takes away from a woman's bodily autonomy. It's like, Jesus Christ, they're fed these lines, and then they're programmed into their brains. So anytime the argument comes up, they just regurgitate it.
Womb who don't even get the basic right to life.
Clumps of cells in the womb, not people.
You are a clump of cells. Every part of you is made up from clumps of cells.
So I'm like the same, like on the same level as a fetus.
You are on the same level as a human that is formed from conception, and you matter just as much as the person that's inside of a womb.
Ooh.
You both matter equally. Your life
Very
matters,
coherent
and so
argument.
does theirs. Everybody's
Very
life
well
matters
done,
because they have the
Caitlin.
inherent
Bravo.
right to life. And I wish you would take that same energy of loving and being, I'm sure you think Black Lives Matter.
They do.
They do, and they matter in the womb. You do not have the right to end someone else's life. That's simple as enough.
But what if the life's like attached to you? Then it's technically like belongs to you, and I feel like you have a right to like, let's see what happens.
No, well, we see what
No, it
happens,
belongs
and that's
to two
that
people,
they grow,
actually.
Yeah.
and they form, and they're human beings. Do you think that an elderly person in a wheelchair that can't walk anymore?
Just real quick, if we found a single-celled organism on Mars, how would that be reported? Would it be reported that we found a clump of cells on Mars? Or would it be reported that we found fucking life on Mars? It would be reported that we found life on Mars. That's the point.
He's 90 years old. He's at the end of his lifespan. Do you think he's any less of a person than a 2-month-old?
He's like a human. He's already been born.
But that's a stage of development. So a fetus, no matter what stage in the pregnancy, they are in stages of development of a human life cycle. They are a human.
She's already over the debate.
So like it's
that's a conception. That is the beginning of a human lifespan.
Yeah, but like, see, some people like I obviously disagree with that, and I know a lot of people do. But like, I know a lot of people think that like life starts at conception, and I feel like what if you don't believe life starts at conception? Like you should, like if you don't believe that, then you have like a right to like.
If I don't believe that Black people are human, do I have the right to go out and hurt them?
No, because it's like...
No, because opinions and feelings don't determine personhood, and they don't determine if they can be committed against with acts of violence.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter what you think, where you think life starts. I mean, it obviously starts at conception, because going back to the finding a single-celled organism on another planet, we would obviously say that that was life. That's, in fact, how they theorized that life started, was with single-celled organisms. And a fetus is not a single-celled organism, by the way. So that whole argument to me is just dumb. Like it shouldn't even be rationalized in any way. It shouldn't even be accepted.
This is a cut video where they try and guess each other's IQ. And this girl judges this guy for having a low IQ.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us. Not taking in other people's point of views and compiling results, but really just came down to his body language, his demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he acted towards the group.
Wouldn't it be funny if it ended up that she had the lowest IQ out of this whole group? I would laugh. I would think that's pretty funny.
Me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make 19 testing kits.
Oh, she definitely has the lowest IQ.
And number 4
oh, this is going to be good.
Number 5 is Sean, and number 6 is Michael.
Yes!
me this famous quote. Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot.
Dude, that's crazy. The lowest, and that was like only slightly above average. What did it say, 112 at the end? Just because you can memorize some text in a book doesn't make you fucking smart, all right? You gotta be able to think independently. That's why all these people who just regurgitate what they see on TV and what they hear from the media, they're not actually smart. They might sound smart because they regurgitated an argument that someone else made, but it doesn't mean that they're an independent thinker, that they can rationalize things and, you know, I can't think of the word, but I'm one of those 112 IQ people, so... But they can't, you know, build a coherent thought process that builds on each thing. You know, they can't be like, all right, this happened and this is a fact, so therefore that means this. They just don't have that ability. So, all right, till the next time, you stay safe out there in clown world.